Yeah, we back. Welcome back to another episode of The Culture, the hottest broadcast in the game. Go to the playlist section. We have an entire playlist dedicated to this series. And in this series, we discuss who is committing the most heinous crimes across the nation and across the world. This series was inspired by years of me listening to certain conservative voices in the media focus on crime in the black community, often framing it as if crime was unique to us. So that inspired me to dig deeper into the actual crime data and the headlines in the United States and around the world to see who is really committing the most heinous crimes in the nation and around the world. Now, before I get started, I just want to address a detractor in the comment section who came into the comment section earlier today and said that, oh, it's not only white men, right? It's all men, right? Black men do crime too. Black men do certain things too. And they started saying, well, what about the Congo? What about the black men in Sudan, right? So I had someone come into the comment section and try to make the comparison and say that, well, black men in the Congo and Sudan are also doing this and that. But you actually kind of reinforce my point, because when you're comparing everyday average white men in America, and you're comparing them to the rebels committing atrocities in Sudan and the Congo, you actually reinforce my point. Because if white men in America can be compared, if their crimes can be compared to the crimes happening in the Congo and the Sudan, then you actually reinforce my point on the level of criminality that white men in America are engaging in. If it can be compared, we're talking about regular everyday white men, pastors, policemen, sheriffs, city commissioners, teachers, soccer coaches, and the only black men you could compare them to are the rebels in the Sudan and the Congo. And when it comes to the Sudan, we know it's the Arab mulatto mixed breeds doing the majority of the atrocities against the native black population. So that's not a one-to-one comparison. And on top of that, the socioeconomic situation in the Congo and the Sudan is completely different, right? We're talking about white men in America living in peace and stability, living in abundance, no war zones, no destabilization, living in peace and abundance and prosperity. And they're committing atrocities every day across the country, right? So you actually reinforce my position, because the only black men you could find to compare the crimes of white men in America are the rebels in the Sudan and the Congo. So you actually reinforce my point that white men in America are committing vast levels of criminality and atrocities. And on top of that, the crime they commit is not only isolated within their own community, right? They come into our communities, they fly into our countries and commit crimes against our children, right? The rebels in the Congo and the criminals in the Sudan, they're not leaving their community looking for white children to assault, right? But we have white American males, we have white European males leaving their communities, coming to our communities to commit atrocities. So it's not the same, right? It would be one thing if they just kept their criminality isolated in their own community, but they're leaving their community and bringing their criminality to our community. So therefore, we need to have a conversation about these individuals. And if you wanted to make a comparison, make a direct comparison. Compare the white men living in America to the black men living in America. We already did that. When it comes to crimes against children, white men completely dominate everybody else. It is no comparison. The only comparison you could find is some rebel in the Sudan and the Congo. That's how much atrocities white men are committing. So thank you for reinforcing my point. Now, anyways, let's get into today's episode of The Culture. Now, let's jump into our first story of the day, right? Coming out of Louisiana today. As you can see by the headline, a 2-year-old boy has been found after a kidnapping and a man has been arrested, right? And as you can see, the suspect at the top. Now, let's get into the article. The toddler is a light-skinned black male with short black hair and brown eyes, standing 3'2" and weighing 40 to 50 pounds. He was last seen wearing a red shirt, black pants, and blue Crocs, right? So white men in America, like I said, living in peace and prosperity and abundance. No destabilization, no war zones, no nothing, right? Living in stability and prosperity and kidnapping black children in broad daylight. Now let's get into the article. An Amber Alert was canceled this morning after officials safely located a kidnapped 2-year-old and arrested the man accused of taking him. An alert for the toddler, Christopher Cooper, was canceled after he was reported missing around 9:45 p.m. Around 5:45 a.m., right, so overnight, he had the boy overnight. And you know what these guys be into. You know, these guys, like I said, 29% of the population, the vast majority of child sex abusers. Now let's continue. Around 5:45 a.m., a passerby contacted the Pike County Sheriff's Office in Mississippi after seeing a vehicle matching the description of a bolo be on the lookout from the Tangipeo Parish, and an Amber Alert put out by Louisiana State Police. The Sheriff's Office deputies immediately went to the location along G. Smith Road off of Highway 51 in the Kentwood area with assistance from LSP and the FBI. The vehicle and the attached trailer were located parked outside of what turned out to be a large storage building, right? So this guy kidnapped a 2-year-old black child and took him to a storage house or a storage building or whatever, right? You know, with a trailer, and took him to some random, you know, rural area with nobody around, just a storage building. You know, take a look up on the screen. This is the video of the capture where the authorities ran down on him where he had the boy at the storage building. Now, if the authorities did not run down on this guy and rescue this boy, Lord knows what would have happened to this boy. Like I said, this is the last demographic you want to be around as a young boy, as a young child in America, as a young child anywhere in the world. This is the last demographic you want to be stranded alone with no protection. Nobody around but you and him. This is the last demographic you want to be stuck with. I'm telling you. 29% of the population, the vast majority of the sex crimes. It's crazy. Let's continue. Investigators are still trying to determine the relationship between Mr. Mercer and the child's mother. It's my understanding at this time that the victim's mother and Mr. Mercer had known each other for a couple of days. That's part of the investigation we're trying to put together, right? So, ladies, what are you doing? Ladies, what are y'all doing, man? Y'all linking up with random white men, strange white men, and they running off with black children into the woods, into the random storage house in the woods, kidnapping them overnight. Lord knows what he was about to do to them. Yo, ladies, tighten up. Tighten up, man. Tighten up. Especially if you got children. Especially if you have minors, okay? Please tighten up. Now, let's continue. Next story. Detectives rescue a 15-year-old from a child predator. Like I said, in the same day, multiple white men across the country kidnapping children. Oh my God. A 15-year-old girl who went missing from the Mount Olive community in Whiteville, North Carolina on September 29, 2025 was found and rescued within 24 hours. The Columbus County Sheriff's Office reported that she had been kidnapped by a child predator. This guy right here, right? So we have multiple white men. Like I said, white men living in peace and prosperity and stability. No destabilization, no economic hardship, right? No foreign powers, meddling in their affairs, destabilizing their economy and their situation. No, living in peace and prosperity and harmony, and going around the country kidnapping children. In the same day, multiple white men kidnapping children. Let's continue. According to the sheriff's office, they initially received a report of a teenager who went missing from the Mount Olive community on September 29th. Detectives immediately launched an aggressive investigation following leads that took them more than 90 miles away. God damn, kidnapped a 15-year-old girl, took her 90 miles away across the state. My God. The sheriff's office states that within 24 hours of the initial report, they and the Fayetteville Police Department secured a warrant to search an apartment complex in the city. The sheriff's office says that investigators found the missing teenager in the apartment with a 64-year-old man, Brian Keith Riley. Crazy, man. Welcome to the culture. Welcome to the culture. Listen, these guys, they don't want to be with grown, beautiful women. They want to be with, kidnapping 2-year-old boys. They want to be with the 15-year-old girls. Welcome to the culture. Let's continue. Next story. September 30th, yesterday, a man has been arrested after assaulting a girl whose family hired him for repairs. Welcome to the culture. Yo, this girl's family hired this man for, some repair work on the house. I don't know what they needed to fix. Maybe, something needed repairing in the house. So they called this guy for his services. He came to the house and assaulted their daughter. Let's jump into the story. Fresh off the press, came out yesterday. Welcome to the culture, man. Let's continue. Mr. Blackledge was reportedly doing handyman work for a family in Jones County when the incident happened. According to the sheriff's department, Mr. Blackledge lured a young girl living with her immediate family behind a shed on the property while her parents were working on repairs to their home and a lawnmower. My God, this guy was supposed to be doing some handyman work, and he done snuck off with a daughter behind the shed so he could touch on her. Yo, bro, welcome to the culture, man. Let's continue. Mr. Blackledge allegedly sent the victim's brothers to pick up the trash by the county roadway, which prevented them from seeing the girl and Mr. Blackledge. So listen, her brothers were around, so he sent the brothers off on go pick up the trash so I could touch on your sister. Welcome to the culture, man. After becoming a victim of Mr. Blackledge's alleged abuse, the young girl ran from behind the shed screaming for her parents and arrested Mr. Blackledge after the parents called 911. Man, welcome to the culture, man. Multiple children in America getting kidnapped by random white males. We calling white males to come do handyman work on the house. The children getting abused. Young girls screaming for their mama and their daddy after the abuse. All of this occurring in the last 24 hours. Like I said, man, 29% of the population committing the vast majority of sex crimes and crimes against children, both domestically and internationally, right? It's really time to have some conversations, right? All in the same day. You have one white male. He took a random 2-year-old boy into the woods behind a storage building. Another white male kidnapped a 15-year-old girl, took her damn near 100 miles across the state. Bro, welcome to the culture. Welcome to the culture. Let's continue. Oh, and by the way, the girl was 6 years old, by the way. The girl who, the handyman came over and then he started, going after her. She was 6 years old. So he came over to do a job and he seen a 6-year-old girl and he just totally got distracted and just lost focus and was just overcome with the spirit of lust and demonic energy. Now let's continue. Next story. Wichita police arrest a man accused of sexually assaulting a cat. Man, welcome to the culture, man. Coming out today. Coming out today, man. The article came out an hour ago. Man, I don't understand the culture. Let's continue. A 27-year-old man who was arrested in Wichita in late August is charged with allegedly sexually abusing a pet cat. The Sedgwick County jail record showed that Jacob Wilson was arrested on August 27th for cruelty to animals and sodomy with the animal. He was charged with those counts on September 2nd and is scheduled for a preliminary hearing on October 21st. The Wichita Police Department said the cat involved in the incident received immediate medical care and was transferred to the Wichita Animal Action League for continued care and support, right? So listen, nobody's safe. And to be honest, how do you even manage to subdue a cat? Because cats, they're always, ducking and dodging and moving and bobbing and weaving. So how are you able to subdue the cat and get it into a position to where romantic relations could even be possible? I don't even want to know, but damn, welcome to the culture. Let's continue. Now, if anybody's interested in a cat, want to adopt a cat, take a look up on the screen. A cat is up for adoption after being tortured and sexually assaulted. So listen, if any of y'all, if you like animals and cats and dogs and things like that, and you want to take in the cat to a house where they'll be cherished and respected, the cat is up for adoption, right? Anyway, let's continue. September 13th, 2025, a few weeks ago. A man is suspected of shooting and critically injuring a Georgia police officer and is now in custody, right? So just yesterday, we spoke about another incident that took place in Kansas of another individual, right? Another European American who assassinated a policeman, shot him dead in the street. Now we have another case coming out of northern Georgia, another European American male, another white male attacking law enforcement, attacking the boys in blue. Let's continue. A North Georgia police officer is in critical condition after he was shot while on duty overnight. The incident happened in McKaysville, near the Tennessee border. The officer, identified as Captain Brentley Worley, was shot in the throat and airlifted to a hospital in the nearby city of Chattanooga, right? So we have white men in America shooting policemen in the esophagus. Yo, I don't understand the culture, man. Let's continue. Next story. This one a few months ago, back in March of this year. A Pasco realtor and a youth coach arrested on 82 charges of bestiality and child exploitation material. This guy right here, Christopher Allen Hayes. Investigators discovered hundreds of videos and photos, including disturbing content depicting sexual acts with animals, as well as images of lacrosse events and Hayes' daily life. Critically, at least 2 files were identified as child exploitation material, with one video showing a child engaging in sex acts with a dog. Detectives reportedly found 80 files showing sex acts between humans and animals, including 74 instances involving sexual intercourse. Some of the videos featured Mr. Hayes himself, including one of him with a black Labrador retriever, later confirmed by his wife to be the family dog. Investigators believe the videos were recorded back in July 2022 and September 2024. Hayes, who was employed as a realtor in Pasco County and coached youth lacrosse, was also a deacon at the church. Welcome to the culture. His real estate profile has since been removed. Now, let's get into the next story. Take a look up on the screen. A man has been arrested after a missing woman has been found dead in an attic. Like I said, man, we got so many missing black women and girls. Black women and girls are only a small segment of the population, but they make up such a decent chunk of the missing population in the United States, right? And we already discussed multiple cases of underage girls going missing and getting found with some random white man, going missing for weeks and months. And they shacked up with some random white man, some sexual predator, right? We already discussed those cases, in previous videos, right? Now, in this case, we got a girl going missing and they finding her body inside the walls of the house, bro. This man has secret rooms and secret compartments and secret attics and secret, places in the house, inside the walls, secret walls that he could stuff bodies in. Welcome to the culture, man. Let's continue. A missing woman has been found murdered behind the secret wall in a hoarder style house, right? So this means that this house was filthy. It was dirty. It was disgusting, right? Got bodies stashed in the walls and everything. Probably smells like shit. Like, bro, what is going on in America? What is going on with this demographic? Let's continue. The woman was identified as Renaya Lewis, 28 years old, of Vallejo. Douglas Irwin Shaw, 41 years old, was arrested on suspicion of murder in connection with Lewis's death. It wasn't immediately clear whether he has a lawyer to speak on his behalf. Authorities have not identified a possible motive. Records show that he is being held without bail at the Solano County Jail. Lewis was last seen Friday evening. She was reported missing on Sunday, according to police. An investigation led patrol officers to a home in Vallejo, 30 miles northeast of San Francisco, where it appeared Lewis may have been before she disappeared. So apparently she was originally 30 miles away in San Francisco, ended up in some random, disgusting house stuffed in between the walls, bro. I don't even know. We got to wait till more information is revealed because right now it's not making no sense. But like I said, when it comes to this demographic, who knows, right? Kidnapping people off the street. We don't know we don't know what's going on with this demographic. Let's continue. During what officials described in a statement as a cursory search, the patrol officers went to the home that day and looked inside the rooms, in the closets and elsewhere, but they found no signs of Lewis, right? Because he already stuffed her in the walls, bro. This dude stuffing bodies in walls. He got secret rooms, secret compartments, secret, concealed entrances, and he's stuffing bodies in the walls to where the police couldn't even find it. That's how you know this was not a random spur of the moment event. It was a premeditated attack because he already had the whole plan laid out. No regular person has secret walls where you could stuff a body. No regular person has secret compartments in the house. Oh, this is a secret wall. This is a secret room and I'm gonna stuff bodies in it. No. It probably got more bodies in the walls, man. The police need to knock that whole house down. Anyway, let's continue. The police said a day later, the detectives returned to the house with new investigative information and a search warrant to carry out a thorough examination, right? So listen, I know I've been going in on the police because the police have a lot of 2977s within their ranks. But, shout out to the police for coming back to the house again, because if they were lazy, the police could have said, we came to the house, we searched, we didn't see nothing, right? But they came back again because they were like, nah, it's some funny business going on. We got to go back to the house. Now, they discovered a concealed entry to the attic and the remains of a woman believed to be Lewis, right? So they went back to the house and did a more thorough examination, and they found that he had concealed entrances, he had secret rooms, secret walls. Like, whoa, what's going on in America? What's going on in the culture? Let's continue. Mr. Shaw was taken into custody on Tuesday at his workplace without incident and is alleged to have admitted to the killing. So this dude killed somebody, stuffed the body in the wall, and then went to work. He just went to work. Imagine stuffing a body in the wall and just going to work like the next day. Like, I'm just going to go to work. I'm clocking to work tomorrow. Like, bro, it's different in this culture, bro. It's different. It's no conscience. It's no soul in this culture. It's no empathy. It's no love in this culture. We stuffing bodies in the wall and we going to work, bro. I don't understand this culture. I don't understand this culture at all. Anyway, let's continue, man. Next story. A former Independence pastor sentenced to prison for multiple child molestation charges. Now, that article came out yesterday, right? Like I said, man, damn near everything we spoke about today happened in like the last 24 hours, except maybe one article that I talked about that happened back in March. But everything else, this is coming out today or yesterday. Everything brand new, fresh off the press. The last 24 hours of criminality in white America. And like I always say, these individuals from this demographic, they do not keep their criminality limited to their own community, right? In today's episode alone, we discuss two children, a 2-year-old boy, a black boy, and a girl, a black woman. A black woman was killed and stuffed in the wall, and a 2-year-old black boy was kidnapped by a random guy, a random white man, all in the last 24 hours, bro. Like I said, that's why we got to have these conversations. It would be one thing if they were just keeping it limited to their own community, traumatizing their own children, attacking their own children. But the problem is these guys are going out of their way, coming to look for our children so they can bring harm to our children. That's why we have to talk to these individuals. That's why we got to talk to these dudes. Damn. But anyways, before I get out of here, I got an excellent comment in my comment section. I want to give a shout out to this brother right here, right? He said this, take a look up on the screen. It's got to be the culture when it's not just a certain group of white men committing sexual crimes. They come in all ages, all shapes, and all sizes, educated and uneducated, two parents or single mothers, drug addicts or sober, Christian or atheist, it doesn't matter. They all participate. The doctors, the lawyers, the judges, the police officers, the teachers, the pastors, the coaches, the construction workers. It's gotta be the culture. It's gotta be culture. Telling you, man. Shout out to you, bro. Shout out to you, man. Shout out to you. Anyways, I'm not gonna be here too long, man. It's been another eventful episode of The Culture. Yes, indeed. Now, it's your boy Neferkari Dessalines back in the building. Yes, indeed. Second single of the next project, The Spy in Bamako. Pin comment at the top, link in the description. Subscribe to the Patreon, NTD1814, and I'm gone. Peace. Feel like they see me, I feel like I'm Saudi or ran up on Yana in the middle of Bamako. Enemy line, they claiming they innocent. Don't do no talking, I gotta move militant. Don't do no talking, I hit them with facts. 1804, bringing it back. 1804 like I'm Mother Cap Henry. King with the vision, the crown never empty. Top of the mountain, my soldiers defend me. Ducking and dodging the foreign intelligence. Hitting my dance on the DGSE. Dodging they traps, still on my feet. Feeling impeccable, feel like I'm shining. Go to my neck and I'm flooded with diamonds. Go to my neck and I feel like a mess. Feel like a lion, I'm in the savannah. Feel like the king when I'm up in the jungle. Never defeated, I never been humble. Come out victorious every encounter. Money machine give me help when I count it. Money machine stack it up in a beat. Heart of a king and I ride for the team. Weight of the world got it stuck on my shoulders. Bet you can feel it, my heart getting colder. Yeah, gotta stay focused so when it's in shots I gotta react. Cause I'm a target, I'm under attack. Grabbing a weapon, I tell her get back. Mission exposed, secrets unfold. Enemy try but I'm still in control. Got your boy sitting in Bamako prison. Hoping they wish we sending them home. Enemy know that we good under pressure. Been through the thunderous turbulent storm. Shorty a diamond, I told her she pressure. Hop in a whip and I'm taking her home. Hop in a whip and I'm swerving, I'm smashed. Killing my enemies, one of my passion. Rocking this gold like we in bikini. Feel like the captain, I'm clutching a heater. Yeah, gotta stay focused so when it's in shots I gotta react. Cause I'm a target, I'm under attack. Grabbing a weapon, I tell her get back. Mission exposed, secrets unfold. Enemy try but I'm still in control. Got your boy sitting in Bamako prison. Hoping they wish we sending them home. Enemy know that we good under pressure. Been through the thunderous turbulent storm. Shorty a diamond, I told her she pressure. Hop in a whip and I'm taking her home. Hop in a whip and I'm swerving, I'm